it's Lyrics of Life. Welcome back to Lyrically Inclined. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back with the jumper. No. I'm back with another freaking blog, guys. What is it? It's November. And so what do we talk about? We're talking about self-freaking love. We are dissecting self-love this month. And I know that we're like halfway through the month, but we're gonna catch up. So that means that I'm gonna have to bring you guys more videos, and I don't have a schedule for when I'm gonna do that. But just subscribe and tap the bell for notifications so that when I do drop them, you can be the first to get this great information. Okay, so guys, November, the first video I dropped, I think it wasn't even in November. I wanna say it was like October 30th, and then like you haven't seen me this month. So I dropped a video and we discussed self-love. So what is self-love? And I'm going to do a recap on this because it's going to tie into this video right here, which is about self-forgiveness. So self-love is the regard for one's own happiness and well-being. And when we love ourselves, we have more fulfilling lives. We feel better about ourselves. We have higher esteem. We're more confident. Like everything else is just better because you 100% accept yourself. So obviously I dive into it more in the video, but you gotta go check out the video. I can't just spill the tea here, right? Or else you wouldn't go watch it. So guys, we're going to talk about forgiveness. Now, in order to love yourself, right, you have to first understand that, hey, you're a human being. And you are never, I don't care how hard you try, I don't care how much you practice, I don't care, unless you become a robot, and even technology has glitches, nothing on this earth is perfect at all. No organism breathing, walking on this earth is absolutely perfect. Our bodies aren't even symmetrical, you know? And that's the first thing that you have to realize. So as human beings, we are going to make mistakes. So you can hold yourself up to a high standard. You can achieve, you know, you can strive, aim higher. Why can't I think of words? Probably because it's like 10:30 at night. Okay, so you can aim higher. You can, aim for high goals. The thing is, you can't beat yourself up. Like when I say beat yourself up, you cannot like pout, go into a deep depression. If you do not attain those goals, you need to just go back and work harder. And so in order for us to understand the concept, we have to transform these mistakes that we make, that we beat ourselves up about, into areas of improvement, areas of learning, literally life learning experiences. You use that experience to gain wisdom, right? And so in order for us to make the change in our brains, we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. Now, once you forgive yourself, it's a lot easier. But first, what the fuck is forgiveness, right? What is that? So in order to forgive yourself, right, forgive literally means to stop feeling mad or to stop having anger towards someone or something that you feel has done you wrong. Well, someone. And to stop blaming that. So in this case, we're saying we're going to stop blaming ourselves for something that we feel that we did that was incorrect. Something that we feel that we did that we could have done better. Something that we feel that we could have, managed our time better. Or we didn't get there, whatever the case is, you could have reached your goal faster. You have to stop beating yourself up about it. Now, in this context, I'm not going to say, yes, you have to accept the blame, but you have to be accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable for your actions, okay? But that doesn't mean that you have to sit in the mirror and say, you stupid bitch, why the fuck did you do, oh my fucking God, why did you do that? Like, okay, you did it. Cool. What are you going to learn from this situation, and how are you going to move on from it? Like, what are you going to take from this situation? It makes no sense to sit there all day just like, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Like, what if you sat there and beat yourself up over every stupid, silly thing that you did, right? You wouldn't get anything done in life. I mean, let's think about it. You wake up late, right? Let's start with when you're waking up. You wake up late. The alarm clock goes off. What if you just sat in bed all day beating yourself up because you didn't wake up on time? You would never get to work. You wouldn't have a paycheck. You wouldn't even have to worry about having a house because you would just have all these bills. You'd be in debt. You would be homeless. Could be a lot worse. I'm just saying, go ahead and forgive yourself. So the reason that we want to forgive ourselves is because the act of forgiving allows us to move on without holding that anger, without holding those negative feelings or that content, and without, wanting to get back. at ourselves or wanting to just like self-destruct pretty much, because some of these definitions were when we're forgiving others. So I'm like translating, and I was supposed to make this video a long time ago. So the reason why that forgiveness is important for a lot of reasons, and I think I just named a few, but let's dive into a little bit more. So the whole reason I even made a video on this is because we hold grudges against ourselves. We might say sometimes that we hold grudges against other people, but sometimes it's against yourself and you don't even realize it. So for example, right, let's say we act a certain way because something occurred in our childhood, something negatively impacted us in our childhood and impacted our worldview. And so now we may lash out, we may have anger issues, maybe, you have a drinking problem, you have a drug issue, you work a lot, or maybe you're just one of those people who have you don't see anything as an issue, but you're just cut off emotionally. You don't know how to emotionally connect with people. You can't be intimate with anyone. And I don't mean sexually. I mean, you cannot get close to anybody. Maybe you don't have any close friends. You're like the CEO of the freaking company, but hey, nobody really knows you. You don't even really know yourself. Forgiveness is important because you have to understand first, right, that you may hold that situation responsible, right, for something, but you have to forgive yourself for how you acted in it and whatever participation you had in whatever act that was. So let's say, for example, and I'm just gonna, oh God, I don't want to throw this example out there, but I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna put myself on the line to get attacked. Come and get me. Come and get me. So I'm a shark and you guys are a school of fish. So come and attack me in groups. So let's say you were sexually assaulted when you were younger, right? And a lot of times people say, they have a hard time forgiving the person who did it, but a lot of people feel guilty in saying that they think that they could have done something, they could have said something, or whatever the case is. However, the fact of the matter is, you can do something now. Now that that's happened to you, you can forgive you can forgive yourself because you were innocent. You didn't know any better. You didn't know what the hell was going on, and it's really not your fault. You know what I'm saying? You have to accept the situation for kind of like what it is, and go on from it. And I can kind of speak on this situation, and I'm not going to dive any more into that topic, but I can just say that I can speak on the situation firsthand. And so if you want to attack me, go ahead. But all I'm saying is this: if anything has happened to you, if maybe you were neglected by a parent, maybe you were abandoned by a parent, right? You have to understand that it is not your fault. And that's where the forgiveness part comes in. Sometimes we blame ourselves for things that are not our fault, and we hold them and we carry them on for years and years and years, and they build up into this character trait that we're trying to erase when we get older or change because we want to be happy, we want to connect with more people in life. But it's so hard because you built this up for now 20, 30, 40 years, and now you're trying to reverse it in a month. Like, how is that going to happen, right? So moving on from that topic, because I know you guys are like side-eyeing me, like, where's she going? But my videos always I give you this, and this, and we put it together and we make art. So the point I'm trying to make is this: forgiveness is like a muscle. When you practice on smaller things, you gain the skill to deal with bigger things. So when you practice forgiving yourself for waking up late, for yelling at someone, maybe you're holding yourself accountable. You're like, oh, I'm trying to change and I'm supposed to change and all this stuff, but it's just not happening. When you start forgiving yourself for little things, when bigger things happen, like let's say you get fired because of your attitude or because the thing is, you have to forgive yourself in order to move on, in order to grow. Forgiveness is a part of growth. That's why it's a part of self-love, because when you love yourself, you desire to become your best version. You love yourself as is, but you want to improve yourself to be the best person that you can be. So in order to do that, you have to understand that shit is going to happen in life that we don't like. Shit is going to happen that sometimes we don't have any control over. We don't. And we just don't. We're not like supernatural, we don't have supernatural powers or anything like that. And so, unfortunately, sometimes things are going to happen. Sometimes there's some things that you do have control over, like things within your body, things within your actions, your feelings, and your thoughts. You do have control over all of those things, and sometimes we don't always act the right way. The point of the matter is, in order for you to become that best person, in order for you to continue loving yourself and trusting your journey and trusting your process, you have to forgive yourself, because you have to realize that that shit is gonna happen. And even after you become the best version of yourself, you're still human. Someone is still gonna tick you the hell off, okay? Let's be real. It's just gonna happen. It's just that your reactions should progress. That means that you shouldn't be as mad. You shouldn't always react the same way. That's the thing about forgiveness, is that you have to move on from the situation and make a commitment to yourself to make a change, okay? There's no point of sitting here and beating yourself up over something, getting over it, saying you're going to change, only to do the same thing over again. That's the second part of forgiveness, well, I won't say second, third part. Because first, the first part of forgiveness is accepting what happened. The second part is realizing, what your participation was. So the first part is just, it happened, this is what happened, it is what it is. The second part is saying, this is identifying and analyzing it. This is the role that I played, this is this is what was done, and this is what I had control over, this is what I didn't have control over. And then the last thing about forgiveness is making a commitment to make a change and improve. So it's literally that simple, but it's so vital to our mental health. When we don't forgive ourselves for things, think about it. You have girls who are sitting out there and they're like, why the fuck did I have a baby by this dumbass dude? And you can't beat you, because at one point you were in love with the dude. There was something about him that made you say, hey, let me go ahead and do this. Some people like me, for the longest time, I held a grudge against my mother for forcing me to go to college, because I felt like I don't need college for what I want to do in life. But I had a choice in the matter the whole time. And it wasn't until having a conversation with my younger brother that I realized that. And I was like, he told me he never wanted to go to school, but hey, he was going to go. And if it didn't work out, he had other plans. And if my mom didn't like him, then too bad. He wasn't telling her, he was just going to do it. And I was like, you know what? This kid is right. I had an option this whole time. I chose to be closed-minded. So I had to accept that, hey, I fucking went to school, it is what it is. I analyzed the situation and realized I had a choice in the matter, and I decided to change my perspective, because I couldn't really do anything. I still got to pay back these damn student loans. But I can still continue to tie in what I learned in college with my entrepreneurial career. Simple as that. And that's what I'm doing, because even when we were in social work class, when I was at my community college, I was studying human services, and in my psychology counseling something, we had to do like a tape recorded interview and record ourselves and stuff. And I did it with no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna mess up her name. Listen, guys, to get back on track, the point of the matter is this: no matter what, we're all gonna go through things in life. We are all going to go through things in life, and you know what? The older you get, the harder, the more difficult things are gonna seem, because you're learning. Like the older you get, the more life experience you have, the more that you're exposed to, the more opportunities you have for things to go how you don't plan for them to go. I won't say go wrong, but they don't go how you plan for them to go. And hey, it happens. But the key to happiness is resilience, right? And it's because it's your perspective. So as long as you choose to learn from every situation, that you go through in life, you will always find a way to be optimistic. You will always find a way to get back to, being confident in self, being confident in your decisions. And you will always forgive yourself, because you realize that you ain't perfect, and neither am I. And that's why I fuck up these videos so much, and that's why I can't talk. Because once I press this camera, even though you guys are not right there, I just get so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I just immediately think that you can see me. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, please go ahead and thumbs up. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I know this